Yeah, nah, Stalgia.
Actor George Reeves was born on the 5th of January, 1914. If he was still alive today, he would turn 111. 111. George Reeves, of course, portrayed Superman in The Adventures of Superman. And growing up, it was my favorite show of all time. Just listen to this soul-soaring music, the greatest bit of composition created by human beings, in my opinion. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. As a little boy, this was my introduction to what America was. As a little kid, I'm like, yeah, America sounds like a great country. Truth, justice, and the American way. A bustling, giant city where good always triumphs over evil, and there's a hero that will save you if ever there is trouble. Now, a lot of fans have their favorite episodes, and I often go back and forth between what's my favorite episode of The Adventures of Superman. But for me, Panic in the Sky is probably the best episode. An asteroid is approaching Earth. The citizens of Metropolis are looking skyward. And at the Daily Planet, Lois Lane suggests that Clark Kent has gone and hid somewhere in a deep cellar to avoid the trouble. At the observatory telescope, Professor Roberts is talking with Superman, who is thinking of flying up and diverting the asteroid off course.
That's just a chance we'll have to take. Look, it's starting to fall now. It's picking up speed. Goodbye, Professor.
Chance. That's all it is. Just a chance. It may cost the world a terrible price. Superman.
He flies up, and we get to hear the stirring flight theme of Superman once again. Kablamo! Superman crashes back down to Earth in the middle of nowhere on a deserted highway. He looks weak, a little dizzy. He goes behind a boulder and thankfully changes back into Clark Kent, glasses and all. Where did that suit come from? Is what my nana would say. Luckily, there's a old-fashioned car driving up the road. "You want a lift?" says the young lady. He barely knows who he is. He doesn't know anything about the asteroid that she's talking about or Superman. He remembers enough to get him back to his old apartment where Jimmy's waiting for him, and Clark almost takes off his shirt in front of Jimmy, revealing the S. Even if he had, I'm sure Jimmy would just say, "Gee, Mr. Kent, why are you wearing a S on your shirt like Superman? Gee willikers." But no, his secret identity is still safe, very safe, because even Clark Kent doesn't know who he is. He finds a secret compartment in his closet, revealing a whole row of Superman costumes. This is done to start the process in his head that maybe he knows more about Superman than most people. He goes back to the Daily Planet trying to jog his memory with Perry White, Lois Lane, and Jimmy. to no avail. The asteroid is still coming towards the Earth. Back at his apartment, Clark puts on his Superman outfit, including his glasses. Looks like a unique look that we don't see often. Somebody's going to have to try and save this world of ours, says Clark. He sits down in his chair and smashes the table next to him with his bare fist. He now realizes that he has the strength to be Superman, and some of his memory comes back. Professor Roberts, the observatory.
Professor Roberts. The observatory.
He then jumps out the window like a superhero should. He goes back to the observatory. The professor gives him an atomic bomb box that has to be switched on once it lands on the asteroid. Of course, this could just kill Superman, but he's going to sacrifice himself to save everyone else. He takes the box. Goodbye, Professor, Miss Lane, everyone.
Goodbye, Professor, Miss Lane, everyone.
Then he flies up to the sky. He lands on the asteroid, and then the most remarkable thing happens. This is open to interpretation, but he says,
No matter who I am, here goes.
He doesn't have his full memory back, but he's going to sacrifice himself as the hero that people need. And Superman survives too. Yes, I love a happy ending. I love these old adventures of Superman episodes, especially the black and white ones. Not because they lack color, because they're like old film noirs with like a Twilight Zone feel, but with the emphasis on adventure and overcoming evil every time. So, Panic in the Sky is probably my favorite episode. I got to visit the Superman Museum not long ago. Here's me and George Reeves' costume. The museum was founded by Jim Hambrick, who sadly passed away last month.
I guess the keeper of Superman.
So thank you, Jim, for honoring the memory and legacy of George Reeves through the Superman Museum with a giant Superman statue out front. You've done good, Jim. Thank you. And for George Reeves, he's still my hero all these years later, even though maybe he wasn't a perfect human being. Although, I've come across this local access TV show on YouTube called Talk of the Town. Click on it here. I think it's out of Long Beach, hosted by John Craig. Jim appeared on it with some other Superman fans of George Reeves in particular, and they go into detail. What a great bloke George was. And I side with them, especially how they believe he met his untimely end. I once made a Superman-inspired commercial, just for fun. Here it is.
See something?
Yes. There's a man with a gun on the top of that hill.
I can't see a thing. How do you do it?
If only everyone had incredible vision. Fortunately, Walgreens Pharmacy can print your prescription labels in large type at any of thousands of locations nationwide, so the labels are much easier to read and your medication easier to take. Walgreens, the pharmacy America trusts.
So I wasn't paid by Walgreens or anything. Big Pharma isn't donating to this channel. But I enjoyed making it. I found that old Walgreens audio commercial online once. It's long gone now, lost media, had the same Town of Perfect soundtrack, and I was really into those commercials for a long time. But yeah, do you like the Adventures of Superman with George Reeves? Good. Happy birthday, George.